Well, welcome to the show. It's already day 11 of Video a Day February. I just can't believe it. You hear the tiredness in my voice, though. This year is kicking my butt. You got to realize, though, you guys, this is the fifth year of this. I was 5 years younger when we started doing this. It's kicking my butt these days. Plus, we have way more guests this time than we've ever had before. So, with all of that combined, it's just, it's been an interesting journey. But tonight is the show that there's been a lot of cry for. I hope the people who wanted it are here tonight. What we do on these kind of shows, usually when I do relationship advice, the questions have been submitted already. And so my cousin puts them into a document. I read the questions. I give the answer off the cuff. It's the same concept, except this time they're not already pre-submitted. You can either come into the YouTube chat space and type your question in there, or you can use the StreamYard link and just the audio portion. You won't be on camera, and share your question, on the show audio. You got either choice works for me. This is the link. I'll be posting it a couple of different times throughout the evening. Hey, Shay. So there's the link, Shay, for people who want to ask their question. So what you guys do is a minute, just a little Mickey Mouse, $8, but that enables me, with the super chats and stuff, to give Shay a little change at the end of the month. So let's, you guys be generous. And what we're going to do is, what you do is you make your super chat or a YouTube, what do they call it? Super chat or Cash App. That's what I'm sorry. Cash App or Super Chat, $8, fee. And then we will call you in the order that you have done that. I have my phone here, so if anybody sends it on Cash App, I will know that you did it. And then we'll take your question right here on the air. I have a couple that came in advance. People didn't want to use Cash App or Super Chat, so they did they paid using PayPal. And I got the receipts, yesterday and today by email that they had paid. So I have their questions here, and so we'll start with those while you guys figure out what it is that you want to say. You just, like I said, either type your question in there, and if you're a slow typer, please type it in like a document, a WordPad or something, so you can just cut and paste. I believe there is a character limit, but I don't know what it is. You may have to post your question in, multiple parts. Sorry, I don't know what the character limit is, but I do know there is one. I've heard that from people before. So either way, you can click that link and be on the air, or you can type your question in there and I'll show it on the screen, whichever way works best for you. But this is the night where you get your questions answered. So if something's been bothering you, you got this problem at work, your mother, your man, your kids, your sister, whatever's going on, and you need a little insight. Thank you, Gypsy Moon. This is the time to do that. All right. So let me see. Oops, I'm messing up my microphone setup here. Hold on a second. Dang it. I just have not been able to get my stuff together this week. All right, let me take this clip off of here. Let's see what we have from the pre-submissions. Okay, this one is from a guy. He's using the name Mark. And he says, I need to break up with my girlfriend. And since it's approaching Valentine's Day, I feel kind of shitty about it. We are 41 and 42. Oh, so these are mature people and have been going out for 18 months. Essentially, this relationship is just not working for me. I'm a pretty logical person, and my girlfriend is a seeker. I wonder what that means, a seeker, who I am afraid has continued down the path of following people who exploit her. She was once in a cult. Additionally, she has difficulty being on her own and has manic episodes for which she expects me to care for her. And I haven't already been married and divorced before, and am not looking to be a caretaker. She is somewhat emotionally abusive when she is manic. I don't pin all the blame on her, and she is somewhat selfish. I'm having the locks to my place changed on Saturday. Damn, dude. Having realized after spending a week away with my family that I just don't want this person in my life anymore. The issue is Valentine's Day. I'm going to feel pretty bad about doing it right before that. Uh, After day, she keeps talking about it and putting a lot of pressure on me about. I guess I don't have a question really, other than is there a way to do this gracefully, tactfully, and without really hurting her? No. You know, it just amazes me how people want to just drop a bomb on somebody and say, "Oh, I want to drop this bomb on you, but I don't want you to get exploded in, with the shrapnel that comes and the flying parts and stuff that's going flying around through the air. I don't want you to get hit by any of it, but I just want to drop this bomb on you anyway." Sir, this is so unrealistic, and so is everybody else who has this fantasy. If you tell somebody the truth and it's about yourself and what you want, and it doesn't match with what they thought they was going to get from you, they're going to be upset. That's just the way it is. But guess what? That's not your problem. Your problem, your issue, your focus is on the fact that she's manic and cuckoo. See, you good. Because 18 months, once I found out that she had some mental stuff going on, Deb deuces out. I don't do that. I had a guy who told me that he had schizophrenia in his family. His son was a cuckoo nut nut, and he had a sister who was a cuckoo nut nut. So then I'm giving him the side eye, like, well, that gene didn't come through your sister, that came through you, sir. Your son is a nutcase, and I don't want him nowhere around my daughter. So I deuced out on that too. I don't do cray. I just don't do it. So the fact that you lasted for 18 months with somebody who was manic and, you know, a follower and uh who's mean to you and abusive when she goes into her little moments and stuff. See, nah, that wouldn't even lasted 18 hours after that first flip out. That would have been it. I'm just gone. So the only way what you can do, because you don't want to wait till Valentine's Day. Don't do that. Okay, so you got a week, right? When is Valentine's Day? No, not a week, huh? When is not? This is the 11th. Oh, that's just a couple of days. Oh yeah, well you better do it this weekend, huh? You better do it now because what? That's Monday, isn't it? Oh yeah, dude, you got like 24-hour window here. So you're gonna have to just tell her that while you're away, you did a lot of thinking. So you want to make it sound like this is a new thing. It's not like it's something it's been on your mind forever because it has been. So you say, I went away and I, gave me the space to think about, what I want with my life and, how this relationship fits into it. And it's just really, that's not going to work, and it has nothing to do with you. It's me, although it's 100% her, but you don't want to say that. So you're going to say that. And then, you might even want to send her some flowers on Valentine's Day or something to just say, no hard feelings. You're a great lady. It's just, not the situation is just not for me right now. So you want to do the old let her down easy, but you don't want to lie and you don't want to make promises that you're not going to keep. Things like saying, well, we can be friends. You don't want to be friends with that crazy cow. Don't even lie. Don't even tell that lie. Just say, I think no contact is the best way for both of us to heal. Maybe at some point in the future, if we see each other out or something socially, we can say hello and have a drink together or something, catch up for old time's sake. But for now, I think no contact is best. Yeah, as I say, he got like the 24-hour window from the time he wrote the letter, which I don't know when that was. When did I get this? I think this came in yesterday, late yesterday. Yeah, late, it's like nighttime when it came in yesterday. So yeah, you on the clock, son. So you need to handle this tonight. That's what you need to do, and give her time to flip out and stuff before Valentine's Day. Okay, we got a question. Woo-hoo. And I wanted to tell you guys too what happened last time. People waited until I said, "Oh well, I guess that's it, this and that," and then everybody started sending questions. Don't do that. Send your question in. As soon as you see somebody else's question is done, then do yours. Okay, so that we, keep a little flow. But I do have some people's questions that I do need to answer though, so we'll work those in as well. Okay, so let's see what she says here. I went on a second date with a 26-year-old dude. He works in a different state temporarily. I haven't heard from him in 2 months. Have I been ghosted? if he comes back, how should I respond? I want to say, let me tell you something. That is the biggest game ever. I can't tell you how many dudes are either leaving the country or working out of state or all this kind of stuff. I mean, the main thing is, you went on 2 dates. That's not your man. Okay, that's not your man. You don't have no commitment with that clown. You don't owe him crap, and neither does he owe you. So one thing you have to be very careful of is, trying to feel like you owe him something, and you have to be loyal to him or something. Like that's gonna be the only man you see in, or I don't know. I'm not saying that's you, but I'm saying that is the mentality of a lot of young ladies that they only want to quote see one guy at a time, end quote. The fact that haven't heard from him for months, I would put whatever number he called you on my block list. Because see, if he were truly interested in you, he would keep in touch. So that when he was back from working his quote out of town job, then, he would pick up where he left off, right? Because you guys would have maintained contact. You would have been Zooming or FaceTiming or duoing or whatever they call it, to keep in touch and kind of build your rapport. But he's not doing any of that. So whatever them 2 days you had, that was it. Okay, so put his number on block and let's move on. Now, the other part of that is if he comes back, how should I respond? You won't be responding because he'll be blocked. See, one thing you have to do, and this is where the boundaries come in. If you are, I mean, like, okay, if you dating 4 or 5, dudes at the same time, going on a year data, then it won't matter. Then you don't have to block them. But it seems like since you wrote about this, you're a little bit more invested than you should be. You see what I mean? Because otherwise, this wouldn't even have been an issue. You wouldn't have gave him a second thought. You would have been on with dude number 3, 4, 5, and 17. He wouldn't even be on your mind. But the fact that you wrote about it and you wondered what to do when he comes back, that means you're a little bit more emotionally invested than you should be. So in this situation, that's why I'm telling you to block him. For somebody who was a player like me, he'd just be, in the rotation. If he showed up, we'd go out. If he didn't, I'd be out with somebody else. No big deal. But in the event that you did not block him and he came back, see, now you're going to be on date number 3. And see, date number 3 is when a lot of them start thinking that's booty time, right? So you don't want that. Okay, you're not going to have some dude skipping out on you for 2 or 3 months, claiming he's out of town working, and then dip back in and just pick up where he left off, thinking that, well, okay, well, we already had 2 dates, so this is the magic time. No, clown, it's sure not. Okay? So that's what I have to say with you. So get busy, go on your phone right now and block that young lad. He's a knucklehead. Okay? Anybody got another question? Okay, so she's finished. So now this would be the time when someone else would put their question up. See how this works? And then we just go and go. Exactly, Cindy, at least texting. But he's not doing anything. So, and to me, texting is like, what? I mean, I know you young people, you like to text every day. I'm not trying to text nobody. People are having whole conversations by text. Pick up the phone. I'm not doing all that. My fingers get tired. Old people get arthritis and stuff. When you trying, I'm trying to wear out our joints texting you. Shoot, I might only have 10 years left to use my fingers. I'm not trying to use my 10-year rations on texting you. You better call somebody. Anyway, let's move on. We got another letter. I think, about 6 people sent in questions. So, and they didn't want to do it this way, so they did it by, PayPal. You guys ready? So you guys think about, what your question is. Everybody was crying for this show. I thought it would be like all kind of people like, punching in their thing. You gonna call? Yeah, you could call in. Didn't I put the thing up? Let me put it up again. Yeah, if you want to do yours by audio, you don't want to type it, just click that link and then you can use your phone or your headset on your computer and just, say what your issue is out loud. All right, let's move on to question number 2. Paid with PayPal. Okay, what's her name? Marnie. You would like to call in, Camille? Okay, come on through, girlfriend. Just click that link Okay, you did Yellow Star. My phone didn't make it. It usually makes a noise. Wait a minute. Do I have the volume off or something? Hold on a second here. This isn't good. Usually it makes a little noise, to tell me. Oh, maybe it hasn't come yet, I guess, maybe. Well, it'll be here in a second. So let me do hers first, and then by the time I do hers, then it should be um, here. Okay, Yellow Star. Hold on a second. I forgot. I got to put on my. Okay, now I can hear you.
Hey Deb, can you hear me?
I can.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for putting this show together. I know it's got to be a task, but we appreciate you.
Yes, it
I
is a task.
have, I've got a question. Odd scenario, but I guess I'm just trying to figure out the best way to word it and not be too wordy. So, roughly a year ago, me and my ex at the time, we were living together, decided that we would be separating.
How
Just
long did you live together?
about at that time, probably 4 years.
Oh,
Yeah. It was a rush, kind of like a situation. We knew each other for about 6 months and then moved in together. Crazy. Doesn't make sense. I don't know why I did it. But what I realized was that throughout that time, it took me, I was really young, never had, my mom, dad, nobody ever talked to me about what I was supposed to do. And he's a great guy, but I just realized that I didn't want to start out any relationship like that. And moving in with him was making it easy for him to be lazy and not to have to put an effort to be with me.
mm-hmm.
Before I'd moved in with him, he was driving 30, 45 minutes, 4 times, 5 times a week just to spend time with me. But moving in with me gave him like 100% access. So I decided one day I just, talked to him and said, I really want to separate because I just don't really feel like we're going in the right direction I want to go in. And I wasn't truly being honest. I actually more felt like us living together made him lazier. He had my help with bills. We weren't exactly 50-50, but he had my help with bills. And, the ambitious person he was when I first met him, he wasn't that person as much. When I met him, he'd worked at like a grocery store, but he had, and he should have never told me this, but he had over 10K in savings. He also paid in cash for his massage therapy school. So that's the guy that I met. And I think moving in with him put all of that into like chill mode, so he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
as ambitious. And that kind of turned me off um, from being in the situation. So I said, hey, we should separate. I wasn't really fully forthcoming, because I didn't want to make him feel bad. But we lived together, and I'm going to wrap this up. But we lived together for another, 8 months, because he allowed me time to, just get our finances together, make a plan, and move out. And ever since I moved out, so I moved out in November, and since I've moved out, um, we're in contact like almost every day. And I guess, so my question is, he is a great guy. And the reason that we're in contact is because number one, he reaches out. I don't call him. I learned that from you. He reaches out to me, and he's just really helpful. My if my air doesn't have, and if my tires don't have air, he fills my air up. He takes my car to go get an oil change still. These are things that we did in the relationship. When I have two jobs. When I work my second job, he watches my cat. Anytime I have a repair in my car, anything like that, he's a problem solver. So I keep him in my life, but I, honestly, I really do care about him, and I'd want to be his wife. I don't want to be his friend. So my question is, what I'm doing, allowing him to be in my life as he's being helpful, is that, am I giving myself the shaft essentially? Am I signing myself up to continuously be hurt? I'm trying not to have expectations. about where our relationship will go or anything. Trying to just stay in like a friend zone, but I'm
You
just
don't want to do that.
yeah.
Let me tell you why. I mean, now that I understand, you did go around the back way through China and Taiwan and then come on back. But what you want to do in a situation like that, like you noted, once he had full access to you, he dropped off. What he was doing, he stopped doing. He started taking you in the situation for granted, and it just, everything just it wasn't meeting your needs. So what you're doing now is you're still giving him access to you, just like you did when you moved in
Mm,
together, but he doesn't have a commitment and the ties to you. So he's getting the best of both worlds.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you have a situation like that, I know it might not be convenient. You're used to him, taking care of you and all this kind of stuff. But this is when you got to put on your big girl panties and cut this off. You have to position yourself so that he misses you. Right now, you don't do that. You give him. I mean, he just calls and then here you are.
Yeah.
You're not having this right, girlfriend. You
You're
have to put space between you. You have to make him feel like, oh no, she's slipping away. What am I gonna do to keep her? Well, I have to do something. Right now, you don't have to do anything. Just call you and there you are.
you're right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it might not be what you want to hear, but it's the truth. In the situation like you have this is that kind of guy that needs a stretch goal,
Mm,
and right now you're not giving him any. And so he can just pick up the phone and get whatever it is he wants from you, under the guise of, being helpful. But he's all up in your Kool-Aid and all up in your mix. You don't need a man to come to your house and take care of your cat. Cats are very independent. You give them some food, give them some water, and they on about their business. Now, dogs are the ones, they need to be walked and, there's a little bit more care involved with them, brushed and whatnot. Cats only, they don't be bothered. They don't even need, they be like, what? You bothering me. Get out of my face. So that's just an excuse. You can put air in your own tire. Even if you go to the gas station, there's always dudes around pumping gas or whatever. You say, oh, well, especially if you have on a short skirt and you look cute. Can you help me? I pull that shit all the time, and I'm old as dirt, and I still do it. I'm not getting my clothes dirty on no dirty tire and getting my black stuff on my hands. I'm not doing that. And they all usually come over and they be like, oh, sure. How are you today? Oh, I'm great. Thank you.
thank you so much, Deb. Thank you. I needed to hear that
Yes,
for
well,
sure.
girl. You got to reframe this and put yourself in the power seat. Okay?
I got it. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. All right, Camille. What's up,
All right. Hi, Miss
girlfriend?
Deb. How,
Oops. Sorry,
can you hear
Camille.
me?
Yeah, now I accidentally hit your mic and muted you.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Me and these
no.
controls.
Okay,
I
I'm
know
going to
it's
try.
back now, but I just had done that. I don't know what I did, but anyway, there you are.
No worries, because
So
I'm
what's
I'm
happening?
trying
You'll
to
be
make
next,
sure.
my Ryan. Ryan Mindfulness. You're next
So I'm going to try to
after
make
Camille.
this real brief and quick, but
Okay.
I'm not making long-winded. So anyway, love your show. I just wanted to know, I guess this is maybe a two-part question, but I want to know, am I the a-hole, or should I say something in this situation I'm about to explain, or just keep my mouth shut? So
Oh,
I'm in my
okay.
late 20s. My mother is in her 60s. My dad, this is a situation with my mother and my father. My dad is in his, I want to say his early 70s, late 60s. He's a Gemini, she's an Aquarius, I'm a Scorpio. Anyway, boom. So my father, he has been throughout lately, he has been to the hospital a few times in the last 2 years. So recently he had a heart attack. Just to sum it up, growing up, he was absentee and abandoned my brother, my mother, and I so he could smoke substances and chase skirts. So there was no financial support. And at the times that there were, it would be, at this point, I could say it's laughable now, but at the time it was heartbreaking, like $3, $30. And he's admitted to working under the table for all these years. So mind you, I'm in my late 20s. My brother is in his late 30s. So he's in the hospital. The woman that he lives with, she will call my mother because now my mother, the state is paying her back child support,
Mm-hmm.
for all the years missed. So the woman who my father lives with, she will call my mother and she'll talk to my mother about how she needs to give back the back child support that she had missed out all these years of raising us by herself while putting herself through school and working. So my thing is, I don't think that my mother should have to do that. Um and also, I don't feel like it's the place for this lady to disclose this information. Well, they were, my mother and father, what you call it, a quote unquote the common marriage, but they weren't together. And I just kind of feel like it's rude for her to impose this sort of information onto my mother, and also tell her that she needs to um pay back this money to my father and guilt her into that. Then also she shared, since he's been in a has had health predicaments, she also disclosed who is the beneficiary to his life insurance, which is my aunt, which is his sister, which I don't feel too much a type of way about the fact that my aunt's the beneficiary, but it's kind of complicated. Anywho, should I say something to her and tell her if she has to contact um someone about my father, she just referred to, it would make sense to me to refer to my brother and I instead of harassing my mother, because honestly I feel like my mother's been pretty kind about this.
I was gonna
and
say that.
and if it were me, if she was calling, because I told my mother, I'm look, if she was calling me like that, I would have been kind of, she would have stopped calling me, because it would have been kind of gutter, and then be like, okay, and then pass this information along to us, because it's like
Do
too
you have the
much.
woman's number?
I don't have her number, and I told my mother, I'm like, look, she can contact us, but I don't know. For me, I'm like, I'm very close with my mother, and I just kind of like, it's this the nerve and the gall, but I don't want to be, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm Southern. I don't want to, with adults, but I'm just, you know what I mean? I don't know. So, what's your advice? Sorry.
Okay, my advice um, is your mother, you live near your mother where you have like physical access to her phone?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, you somehow you get the number from this cow off your mother's phone. And then while you're on your mother's phone, you block that number, but you take that number, then you and your brother gonna give girlfriend a call with the both of you on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And you and your brother got to be united on this.
He's
Okay, because
not.
this
I'm gonna have to do this by myself because my
he's
brother
not
is.
he's
He
not trying to protect your mother from this.
he will call. I'm like, he has smoke from my mother, and he'll call her up and all of this, and I'm like, where's the smoke for the person who? This is the person who stayed. I'm not
That's
saying
what they
that.
always do. That males always do that.
That's why I don't even want to, honestly. It's pointless involving him because I'm the
Okay,
younger sister. I'm the younger sibling, but it feels,
right.
sometimes you feel like the older one.
I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
well then you make the call, and you have to tell her that under the law, your mother is entitled to this money. She struggled all the time where you guys were growing up, while her whatever your dad is to her,
Yeah,
husband,
that
boyfriend,
too. The
whatever.
other stuff that she discloses to my mother, she's like, "Yeah, I sleep on the couch." Why you just don't call my mother up
Nobody
with
cares
this
where you
silly,
sleep now. You can sleep in
silly,
the park. Nobody
like
cares.
you call it, like you used to call it. You have a video, you call it silly bee stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
stop it.
See, your mother is too kind because she would have called me exactly one time. I would have lit her up.
What?
Lit. Like with a stick of dynamite lit.
Okay.
Once I figured out who this was on my phone. Oh, yeah, but I'm trying to keep February, kind of PG, so
Yeah, I
I'm not
know.
gonna
That's why I'm
say.
like, I'm trying to make sure to keep it because
Yeah,
I'm trying not to get good.
I had us. Let's not get gully. Let's
Gully.
restrain ourselves. But but in this moment, you know how I am, so you can imagine what language would be used on this woman and tell her, look, you call my mother one more time, and we're gonna have a problem, and it's not gonna end well for you. You stay off of you. Don't you bother my mother because it don't involve you. You wasn't in their bed making us, me and my brother, so you don't have nothing to do with it. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
that's money he owes my mother. His behind is gonna pay it, and that's just the way it is, and ain't nobody giving you a dime. You want to get some money, get a job, and then that would be that.
Okay.
But you are going to have to kind of circumvent because your mother, and that's a lot of the older ladies want to be polite and kind, and they feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
a Christian thing to be genteel and stuff, and I mean, it's that southern graciousness. They just want to show
Yeah,
kindness
and I
and
think she has empathy for
consideration.
my father because he's down bad. But it's like that's the life you chose. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I love my father. Don't get me wrong, but
Well, he made choices as an
you
adult. It's not your
exactly.
problem. Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know. But this is the kind of thing, like, and if she starts saying anything about it, then that's when you say, look, he chose to do that instead of be somebody's daddy. So, this the fact that we getting out this money now is something we're owed, and you just stay out of it, heifer, etc.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I appreciate it
Yeah, girl.
because
So you just get the number, but you're gonna have to make a little few moves there to block that number on your mother's phone. She might just, you don't even need to know what's going on. And then the other number, like the number from the hospital or something like that, she don't need to be getting calls
yeah, I think I'm gonna
about
just be
him.
like, hey, I'm gonna do an update on your phone.
Yep.
Get the number, block the number, not even tell her anything because I don't want to stir a ruckus.
There you
All
go.
right.
You got
I
it. You got the plan, so go work it.
All right, I appreciate it so much and
Oh,
been
no problem.
watching, been on, so I appreciate it. You have
Okay.
a good one. Good night.
Bye bye. Okay, man. That's what happened. Daddy was dusty and he hooked up with some dusty broad. This is terrible. Terrible. Okay, so Ryan, you didn't have a question. So you guys have a question. You can either do like these two ladies did, and you can, click the link and share your issue on audio, or you can type it in the chat room, and then I will put your question on the screen and respond to it. So let me go back to. Oh shoot. Let me go back to this question. Where was I? Oh shoot, I'm just messing up everything here. All right. Question number two. Number two. This is Marnie. She wrote in and she paid with PayPal. Okay. My mother in law is getting upset that she doesn't see my children more than once a week. We make sure they see her every Saturday, and if they are in our area on a Sunday, they might see her again. The second visit is just a cup of tea. They stay 30 minutes away from us and they both work full time. They make comments like, you see how big she is getting when you only see her once a week. My mom is retired and she helps me out during the week, for example, looking after my child while I go food shopping so she gets to see her more. She will also be my daughter's child care when I'm back at work. The other day, she came to the door to drop something off to my partner and she didn't even come in because she has a cold. I stood at the door with my kid waiting for her to come over and say hi. However, she was crying to my partner saying how much she misses my daughter and she doesn't want to see her because she can't cuddle her. Okay, because she has a cold and okay. Is 1 to 2 times a week not enough? Me and my partner feel like we miss out on quality time on the weekend, and my patience is wearing thin with her behavior. Please help me. Well, I mean, you the parents set some boundaries. I don't understand this. You seeing the kid once every other weekend is enough. Okay, and then maybe sometimes you could let her babysit overnight, and you and dude go out on a date or something like that. That'll probably thrill her. Say, we're gonna cut back this to every weekend because we don't have any family time, just the three of us or however many kids you got, and we don't want to spend every Saturday over here. We want to take her to the zoo and we want to do stuff. Now that things are opening back up, and that's ridiculous for her to expect you to be over her house every Saturday when you work all day, Monday through Friday. You good. I was like, and it's the mother. I mean, unless there's some really strange dynamic, the mother of the wife, the mother of the mother, always has more contact with the kids. That's just the way it is. When women are in labor, they want their mothers there. When, like in my case, when my daughter was born, my mother held her before I did. And I wanted it that way. I needed to be like breathing by myself for a few minutes with no little parasite attached to me. I just wanted to feel like, I had my body back, my mind, my presence. It was back. And I just wanted to, kind of relax into that and chillax into that moment. Then I held her. Well, he passed her to my husband and he passed her to me. So I was actually the third person to hold her. And I was okay with that. I've been holding her for 9 months. Shit, I was tired. But this mother-in-law, it's going to be, you guys are going to have to set some serious boundaries with her. Explain what it is, and then tell her that one of those times, she can babysit and keep the kid overnight, unless you're nursing. You didn't say all that, but keep the child overnight while you two go on a date and relax and have couple time. And she probably would like that. She'll know that once a month she'll get to have an overnight with the baby. You know what I mean? So you got to give something. You're going to take something away, but you're going to give something which ultimately will be beneficial to you and your husband as well. Because it's nice for, you got to keep in touch with each other. It's great being parents, but you have to maintain your lover aspect of your marriage as well. So, a lot of women lose track of that. They just focus on their kids. Can't do that. If kids going to go off to college and then they're going to forget about you. I mean, they'll come visit and call you on the phone and stuff, but giving your whole life up for kids is a stupid thing to do, because they're gonna have their own lives, they're gonna have their own families, and you just gonna be sitting there where turn your back on your husband all the time, and then now expect everything to be like it was when you first got married. It doesn't work like that. So you have to plan that in, and you guys work together. Take care of your responsibilities with your young children. Certainly don't ignore them or abuse them or neglect them in any way, but you have to carve out time in your marriage, in your family, for just to be the two of you, and stay in touch with each other, stay emotionally connected, give each other that kind of time to talk and, touch base with each other. You got to do that no matter how long you've been married, how many kids you have. Yeah, the mother-in-law is tripping, just like making a big thing, and the husband boy partner is not really stepping up the way he should. Okay, we got a question. I just finished that one. So let's see what Mel's got to say. My boyfriend of 5 years in his late 40s will only agree to a domestic partnership but not marriage. In California, it's basically the same thing as marriage. Now, that's true. It wouldn't offer him any protection. So, what is this really about? Well, the main person that doesn't offer any protection is you. Now, domestic partnership is good just for the adults, but if you guys plan to have kids, you want to be married. Okay. Now, if that's all he's going to offer, and you want to be married, you want to be a married couple with the same last name and all the benefits that come with that under the IRS and state laws and tax laws and all the other stuff that happens, rights of survivorship and Social Security benefits and all that kind of stuff, then you just have to tell him no. Now, it's nice that you all been together for 5 years, but if you wanted marriage and he kept balking, the time you should have cut that off a long time ago and been on about somebody else. You want to be married, then you're going to have to deuce out. Um, you know, you don't settle for what he wants when you're not getting what you want. This is the number one thing that women do. You compromise your needs for security, your needs for legal protection, your right to feel secure in a situation like that where you're actually legally married to this man, spiritually, legally, whatever. And he doesn't want to do that, then he's not the man for you. When a man really wants to be with you, he's like in your face talking about marriage before you even really get to think about it too good. They be like all anxious and stuff. You want to be married? He's previously divorced. Well, that's too bad. What that got to do with you? You wasn't the woman who hurt him. And I'd be quick to remind him that. Look at this face right here. Was I the one that did all that stuff to you? So what you trying to charge me with a crime for because that somebody else did? I'm not taking that. I'm not going to do that. If that's the best you got to offer me, then I'm out. Don't settle, girl. Don't settle. You'll be miserable, Mel. You will be very unhappy. and it's just being with him for 5 years. I mean, shit, that's long enough. You better than me. I mean, if I wanted to be married, which, like, it's not really not high on my priority list, but if I were in your shoes and that was something that I really wanted, I would not settle for less. And he would have married me way before any 5 years passed by. And it's like, he don't want to just because he was divorced before. That's a weak excuse. What are you, some scaredy cat? Get out of here. Mel, I know it's going to be hard, girl, because you love the man and you've been with him for 5 years. And you feel like, oh, I'm in my late 40s, this and that. That's what he's banking on, to put you in a situation where you just going to give in and give him what he wants while you give up what you want. Don't do it. Be strong. Tell him, no, I don't want to do that. As a matter of fact, let's break up because I want to be married. And you use an excuse of your ex is just ridiculous. What are you, 2? Somebody took your candy, and so now it's like trick or treating. You think you're gonna go to the next house and get more candy. You're scared they're gonna take your candy, so you don't want to go to the next house. Well, guess what? I'm telling you, it's a really difficult thing. I'm not downplaying what's going to be a very challenging situation for you after 5 years. But I'm telling you, Mel, you deserve to have what you want. Don't sacrifice it, because otherwise you're going to be miserable. You're going to you're going to get resentful. And whatever joy you would have had in the situation is going to go up in smoke every time you look at him and he's all happy and you like, well, I'm still not a wife. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be some domestic partner. What the hell? So if you have any doubts about that, consult an attorney about exactly the differences, because there are some. And, you know, there are some. I mean, it's great when you're in the state, but you start talking about Social Security and all that kind of stuff. They don't care about no domestic partnership. They're like, what's that got to do with us? So you want to take care of that. You want those kind of protections, and you deserve them after all that time. Yeah, that's what happened, Shay. I remember a letter came into the column. Somebody was talking. They was together with the man for like 15 or 16 years. Had bought a car together, house together, and everything, and then but they never got married. So when he died, his family came in and swooped in and took everything. There wasn't nothing she could do about it, because the house was in his name, even though she had been helping pay for it. He never added her to the deed. So they took the house, they took the car, they took all the trucks, they took everything. And she was left with nothing. So that's why you want to be married. So you just tell him that ain't gonna work. I mean, it's nice that that's what he wants, but tell him that's not what you want, and you're holding out for what you want, and you're gonna get it either from him or somebody else, but you're not settling. Yeah, you remember that letter? I was devastated. I was devastated for her. I just like, you see her still remember it. That was some terrible stuff. All right, let's move on. Question number 3. Yeah, in Cali, that's what I was saying, Mel. And as long as you're in the state, there's one thing, but once you start going federal, they don't care about your domestic partnership. They be like, what's that got to do with us? Okay, so Shelley writes, lately I've been feeling emotionally drained when it comes to dating and meeting men in general. Ooh, honey, join the team. I just feel out of my luck every time I like someone. They either have a girlfriend or they show interest only to disappear later. I know this happens to a lot of people, but lately I feel like I'm only attracting men I'm not interested in. The ironic thing is that I get a lot of attention from men, but for some reason, not from the ones that I like. I'm not the biggest extrovert, but I've been working on this and I have joined different groups to get out of my comfort zone and meet new people. This has been successful so far, but my dating life is still a mess. I'm also on a dating app, but they are mostly weirdos. Yeah, that's what I hear. That's why I ain't in no hurry to get on one. I wouldn't last long anyway. As soon as somebody said something foul and funky to me, I would cuss them out, and then they would ban me from the app. So I feel like, why even go through all that trouble to set up a profile and all that stuff? Just stay over here where I am, being a little raggedy person. So then she says, I have a steady job. My coworkers like me. I have many friends. I have hobbies. And I've tried to stay social, even during the pandemic, without breaking the rules. So from the outside, my life looks all good, but I feel so lonely. So I'm lonely sometimes. People usually like me. I get many compliments from men and women. It's true, I can be a little shy at first, but I don't think I'm high maintenance or anything. I've been trying to show more interest when I like someone because before I just wait for a guy to make a move, but it hasn't changed much. I don't want to keep, I don't want to turn into a cyclical woman. I'm sorry, that's just cynical, who will hate all men. I try hard to keep a positive mindset, but I feel like I'll never find someone who's compatible with me. I sometimes wonder how other women find a boyfriend or end up with a guy they like. I don't mean it in a jealous way. I'm truly curious because I think I'm doing something wrong here. I don't know if this makes sense. I'm sorry, I'm just sad today and emotionally exhausted from everything. Any words of support or advice are welcome. All I can tell you is a lot of the women that come to this channel say the exact same thing. From being exhausted with, men ghosting and disappearing or being like gross or inappropriate to, the guys on the apps being weird or, pervy or something. So, I mean, what you say here is reflected by hundreds of women that have come on this channel and said the exact same thing. Now, unfortunately, since you just sent an email and it wasn't like on the form, I don't know what age group you're in or anything like that. So that's a bit of shooting in the dark here, but I'm glad that you're getting out. I hear that meetups are, it was my favorite thing to recommend to singles, are kind of starting to get back to, in sync because the mask things are limited, are lifting, and people can go out more now. And, the weather's warmer. It was 70 something degrees here in the Bay Area today. It was hot. I was like, what is this? It's only February. What the heck? It's going to be a burning summer at this rate. I don't know what's going to happen. But you know, I don't know. You say you sitting there looking at other women and they end up with a guy that they like. Have you listened to my advice column lately at all? If so, you would know that just because a woman likes a guy does not mean it's a good relationship. A lot of these ladies have some extremely low self-esteem or they're confused. So yeah, they're in a relationship, but I mean, for the outside looking in, it might look like they're happy, but happy people don't write advice columnists. So, for the face of it is, yeah, they're a couple and they live together, they have whatever. But, inside those women are in turmoil. They're being, emotionally, sometimes physically, psychologically, and financially abused. All kinds of stuff is going on in these relationships that you just looking at thinking that they're oh so happy because these women have a man. I caution you to stop thinking like that. Sometimes being single is a blessing. Okay, so what you have to do is think more on the fact, well, I'm single because I haven't met the right guy yet. I have been blessed that these people that I thought may have been a good guy showed themselves very quickly not to be, and they moved themselves out of my way. So instead of lamenting the fact that they're gone, you should be celebrating the fact that the trash took itself out. You didn't even have to do anything. So see, it's all in how you frame it. Like I always say, you frame things differently. You're looking at it from the oh woe is me aspect, and I'm looking at it from the woo I dodged a bullet aspect, and I'm happy, and you're not. So this is something you just have to think about. Remember Tim the other night when he was saying it's we give ourselves these negative thoughts. This is a perfect example. You putting all this in your head and doing all this fretting and fussing about some stuff that you don't have any facts about. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors in them relationships. A lot of these women just desperate and they will just keep anything rather than be single. So think about that and stay focused on what it is that you want in your life, and then only entertain men who offer it. Okay, just like Mel. If they ain't offering what you want, then you deuce out. Any other questions? Any other questions? I have a few more here from people that already sent theirs in. This is the link. If you wish to call in with your question, so you either use CashApp or you make a super chat donation, at least $8, and then you know, you just let me know what your question is. You can type it in there, and then I'll put it across the screen and answer. Okay. I'm wearing my flummox shirt. I found it in the drawer. I'm like, oh, I haven't worn this since last summer. My flummox Friday shirt. I guess we'll be bringing that back after DNN. Friends, buy a house if you can, even as a single. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of hard to do in the Bay Area by yourself unless you balling. But no, it can happen. They do have some special programs and stuff for first-time home buyers. And if you're lucky enough to win one of the lottery drawings to get those funds, because they pay like up to $150,000 of your down payment. So, you're getting a $450,000 house and they pay $150,000 of it. And then you only have to pay, I don't know, say 25,000 of the down payment. Shoot, you in there, but it's a lottery thing. Plus, you have to be able to qualify for the financing. So there's a lot of things up in the air, but it is a possibility. But in general, just getting a straight mortgage on the salary that most people make, they can't afford a house here. You have to move to like Texas or Tennessee or somewhere. All right, let's move on to the next question. Girl, Amina, girl, everybody says that. It's not the fact that the men are a certain age. It's the society these days. These guys just, I don't know, something just wrong with them. Their mentality is just all jacked up. The way they think is, especially the way they think about women, it's just all kinds of twisted. And the sense of entitlement, and they want to call you nasty names and all kind of crazy stuff. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I forgot. I'm looking for panelists. Did I tell you guys I'm looking for panelists for the February 28th show? Is up on the community wall. If you are interested in I need at least 3, up to 4 guests to be on, because I can take my picture off and have 4 ladies on here talking about a variety of topics. That's going to be on the last day of February, on Monday, the 28th. If you're interested in participating, go on the community wall and you'll see the instructions and stuff there. Okay. Community wall on YouTube. Okay. That was my commercial. But yeah, I'm looking for some people, some articulate, witty, thoughtful ladies to come on and with me and talk about a wide variety of stuff that impacts women. And of course, talking about men and their silliness is going to be part of it, but a lot of other stuff too. So question number 4 is Stephen. Question number 4 is Stephen. I'm 22 and my new girlfriend is 28. Oh, wow. Look at you. Cougar. Let's call her Corey, not her real name. She's sweet, gorgeous, spontaneous, sexy, fun, and just a blast to be around. She's much different from my usual type. In the past, I always dated the quiet, sweet girls who opted to stay in on Friday nights and talk as opposed to going out to bars or parties. With Corey, Friday night, Saturday night, and sometimes even Sunday, she wants to get all pretty, go out, get drunk, get silly, post on Instagram, the whole 9 yards. She's got a small tattoo. I now have 2 small tattoos. My family believes I've changed for the worse and that Corey isn't good for me. They think I've been brainwashed, so to speak, and want me to stop and think about why a fun, independently wealthy, gorgeous 28-year-old is not only single, but why she's dating a 22-year-old only months removed from college graduation. Their theory is that everyone her age sees an obvious red flag that I don't see, and that Corey is taking advantage of me. I finally got sick of endless texts and calls asking me to basically dump her, so I'm no longer answering their texts and calls. I just want them to love her and accept her. How do I make that happen? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I'm going to tell you this. You are 22 and she is on the downstroke to 30 and still acting like a 21-year-old co-ed. Now, you say she's independently wealthy. I don't know, what's that, family money? Did she, get some great career that she's, in? She ain't going to have it for long getting drunk all the time. And I hope she's not getting around behind the wheel of a vehicle being like that. She may not be around very much longer. So, dude, this is this and this. I'm not gonna get mad at you because what I want you to understand is this. This is something that everybody goes through. The people who were raised in, quote, nice family and they always dated the nice, kind of square persons. You meet somebody who's wild and you're drawn to them. It's everybody goes through that. It's every single thing. This dude I dated just for a month or two was every single thing my father told me not to mess with. He had been in jail. I think he only had a high school grad thing. I'm not even sure now. I don't remember, it's too long ago. He used to like to fight all the time. He was just crazy and just jealous and stuff. That's the dude I told you that I was with when I got into the fight with the girl in the bathroom when he bought us matching red leather pants and stuff. I mean, even though he was fun and all of that, but he was every single thing my parents told me not to mess with. Everything, every single one, all in one. I got all out my system in one fell swoop because I had to fight my way out the bathroom. I'm like, okay, here, we ain't doing this no more. Not doing this no more. So, it's something every single person goes through this. The problem with the young ladies is when they do it and then they want to have a baby. That's not how you handle stuff. You dip with the fool and then you dip out. Okay, you get it out your system and then you leave them alone and go on back to doing what you know you need to be doing. Getting your masters and doing all this stuff and all this stuff. And nobody even needs to know that you took that walk on the wild side. See, this is where you messed up. You let your family know because you see this as a real girlfriend and that means you stupid. That's not how you do this. You dip out, you do what you're doing, and then nobody needs to know. Okay, but you done got your feelings involved and letting your family be meter and all kind of crazy stuff. That's how you know you don't have no game. You don't have no game at all. You think I was stupid enough to bring that convict looking, thug looking fool around my family? My father you wouldn't know me today because I would have been missing. Okay, my father would have hit 18 roofs. There's no way in this world. My family to this day don't know nothing about that, and they never will. Okay. Never. Never. I'm not crazy. I may look stupid, but I'm not. So I'm like, no. Uh-uh. So that's why, it's fine to do that. It's fine for this to happen. Everybody, this is an experience that you need to have. But sir, you messing up in that you are trying to, you're allowing your family to, you brought this around your family. That you screwed up. That's not how you handle your stuff. You a young man. You got to learn that every woman that you dip with ain't a girlfriend. Okay? Same thing with you women. Sometimes you just dip and then you dip out. Say, oh, well, that was interesting. Yeah. Let me get up out of here. That's what you have to do. Everybody is not meant to be in your life for more than a week, two, maybe a month, and then you leave them alone and you move on. Okay, everybody, even if you sleep with them, that still ain't nothing. That was an experiment that went bad. Okay, and then you move on and leave them alone. Yeah, he thinks he's in love or so. I don't know what he's thinking, but dude, you need to rethink this. Okay, this ain't nobody that you could be married to. I mean, what are you trying to do here? Don't you mess around and get her pregnant. You're gonna be sorry. And all this drinking she's doing, the baby gonna have fetal alcohol syndrome. Then what you gonna do? Kid gonna be all kinds of messed up. Oh, these young people. It's really sad that they don't have people in their lives to talk to them about this kind of stuff and be, just blunt with them. Like, yeah, that's fun. You do that. You get that out your system. You strap up, and you keep your heart in your body, and you don't be getting no feelings involved in no shit like that. You hang out, you have a good time, and then you bring your butt home and go on back to your life. That's what you do. My goodness. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. I have another question here. Yeah, I think that's what the parents are worried about too, skipping switch, because they can see he's too invested. I'm saying he don't have no game. He just, Oh. So any young ladies listening to this, I'm telling you, you be messing around with these little knuckleheads, little dusties, and then the next thing you know, they be wanting to talk to you about, have my baby and all this old crap here, and you gonna be listening to that nonsense. Don't you dare. Question number 5. This is from a young lady named Shauna. Shauna says, I've been talking to a guy I met online for about 2 months, and these are my concerns. Will not tell me his full first and last name. Will not tell me the exact date of birth or his birthday. Will not tell me his exact age. Will not disclose where he lives, and will not go into detail about his personal life or talk about the kids he had with his previous spouse. This is all due to him making sure he gets to know me better because he doesn't want his personal information known. He will not open to me, not sure if I should just move on. Why are you not sure? What is it that you are hanging on to here? Move on from what? Okay, you don't even know dude's name. What do you think? I'm confused right now. I'll say some voice on the phone talks to you just about nonsense and BS, and you trying to figure out if you should move on. There's nothing to move on from, Shauna. There ain't nothing happening here. He just wasted time playing on the phone, and you wasted time playing with him. Okay, you could be talking to the 411 operator for all the intensity of these exchanges. They still have 411. I don't even know. Oh, yes, a voice on the phone. He could be married. He could be a whole bunch of things, but it doesn't matter what he is. See, that's that y'all sidetracking. That's irrelevant what he is. We don't even want to put energy into that. What we're putting energy into is what her problem is. Her problem is that she's talking on the phone with a man who she doesn't even know who she's talking to. No clue. Don't know nothing. But just talking. I bet he asks you questions and you just be all kind of full of information about yourself. See, and this thing that really bothers me, I should have set up a different form for this. I made them use the other form so I could know what their age group is. You sound like you young and silly. And this sounds like, see, this is the kind of thing where you would be curious because he ain't telling you nothing. I know this game. So see, you get curious. That's why you wrote this letter. And so you curious. So he's going to say, oh, let's meet up. And you're going to want to know what he looked like and how old he is and what his real name is, all the stuff you put here. So you're going to take your little happy butt on over there to where he is and you're going to meet him and nobody's going to see you again. That's what's going to happen to you. Because you can't even tell nobody who you're going to see or nothing because you don't know. And then it's, you just be gone. They say, well, whatever happened to Shauna? We filed a police report. Ain't nobody seen her. It's been 3 years now. We still don't know where she is. This is the kind of stuff that happens to young girls who are silly and don't even pay attention to what's going on, like still situations like this. Leave this chump alone. Block him. Okay? Like right now. And I hate the fact that you probably told him all kind of stuff about yourself, like your real name and where you live and your real age and all that kind of stuff, so he could find you. But you don't even know who you talking to. This is unbelievable. My necklace. Yes, actually, I could take this off until somebody calls in. Unbelievable. Young lady, come on now. You got to do better than this. Let me do. How many of these do I have? Anybody got questions? Now is the time. Y'all don't wait till I'm done and then be ready to sign off and then want to hurry up and send in a question. Do it now. And you have the option. You can type it, like I said, or you can click the link and just tell me, verbally what your issue is, and then we can analyze it. There's the link. Okay. Just Well, it's not really a call, but I guess it's like an internet call. Okay. So our next letter is from someone named Lenora. That's the name she's using. I assume that these are all fake names. How do I become a soft person again like I used to be? I'm tired of being tough, Deb. I've noticed recently that I have a strong personality. I'm independent and I don't know how to ask for or accept help. I don't know how to accept love and friendships. This started probably when got about 13, 14. It's to the point where I find it hard to care and love. Like many people, I've been through my fair share of hurt and trauma, including being taken away from my parents and put in foster care. So I don't know how to let anyone in. Ooh. I can't even cry properly. Tears won't flow half the time, even when I'm really hurting. I don't know how to ask for help when I'm hurting. I do everything myself, and I want to be able to be with people and trust and depend on others. Please help me. I just want to be feminine again, but I don't know how. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. What you're talking about is not feminine, it's vulnerable. You used the wrong word. I mean, I think I know what the aspect you're talking about is, to be able to relax and let people in to take care of you and fret over you and fluff over you and all this kind of stuff that these femininity channels be promoting. I know what you mean. But what you're really looking for is how to figure out how you can trust other people and open up yourself to be vulnerable to them enough to admit that you don't have all the answers and you can't do everything by yourself. Now, why do I know so much about this? Because I was like that. And it's hard, when you're the only girl in a family of guys. It was like me and my mother, but, like all the kids in, like, three brothers, okay, two older, one younger. And then all the cousins in my age group, except for one, were all boys. We just had like a run of boys in our family for a while. And so when I wanted to play or do anything, I was, I had to do what they wanted to do. They was going to sit there playing dolls and Barbies and stuff. So even as a little girl, I never played that kind of stuff. I was not interested in it because I didn't who was going to play with. And so, part of being raised as being around male culture is you don't whine and cry. And if there's a problem, you do what you need to do to resolve it, right? So that's what I was socialized to do. And my parents didn't play that, well, the girls are going to do this and the boys are going to do this. I learned to cook. My brothers learned to cook. I learned to wash dishes. My brothers learned to wash dishes. I learned to do laundry. My brothers learned to do laundry. My dad was teaching us how to paint and lay sheetrock and tile. Guess who knows how to do all that? So it's like, they didn't play that gender role stuff. So, I expect a partner for me to be a partner. But it took me a while to get to that point. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. So what I'm going to say is, and we don't even know the depth of the trauma that you experienced while what led you to have to go to foster care and then what may have transpired while you were in foster care. So you didn't talk about it. We're just gonna gloss over that, but that's a big question mark, and I'm sure there's something heavy duty there that's bothering you. So I'm gonna suggest that you look into getting some therapy. Okay, this is not for because you're trying to be feminine and all this kind of stuff. It's so that you can heal those wounds that you have and let that armor down and position yourself to learn how to trust other people. Because, I mean, there are some knuckleheads out here and people are going to disappoint you, but that's where resilience comes through. You don't fold up and crumble because someone doesn't meet your expectations. I mean, they're human too. They're going to mess up. That's just the way that it is. But, you have a core group of people around you that you trust, they trust you, and you guys have each other's back. And that's how that works. Okay? But you get you some find yourself a good therapist. And I think one of the first things you need to learn how to do is cry. Once you do that, the dam will break and then you can start the healing process. But it sounds like you have a lot to cry about. Okay? You have a lot to cry about. So, in an environment like that, you can feel safe to let that put that armor down and just let yourself feel something. And I think in the therapist's office would be good because there's somebody there to help, to help you gather yourself together before you leave up out of there. So look into that. Breaking it down to the molecule. Yeah, she's got a lot to. She's got to start though with forgiving herself and treating herself nicely and kindly, and understanding that, being around other people and leaning on other people in an interdependent, not codependent, interdependent, where you depend on each other situation is, it might be a little scary for you at first, but you'll go to see that there are some people that love you and will support you and take care of you and be there for you. And you just have to, put the guard down and let them come in, let them love you, you know. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it can be done. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to question number 7. It looks like I have. Uh, oh, I don't know what I did here. It looks like I mixed up some of these questions. Hold on a second while I look and see what I did. I'm mixing up stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, this is my last one. The last one from the pre-submitted questions. So if you guys don't have any more questions, this is going to be a short show. But let me get to this person. These are all people that already paid their fee, in advance. This is number 7. Eddie, a guy, says, I have my second date tomorrow with this young lady. Do I do anything in the spirit of Valentine's Day, or is it too soon? The spirit of, okay, yeah, because it's Monday, huh? I am 25 and went on a first date with this girl 22 last week, and I think it went great. We went bowling and just drove around and talked for a bit. We've talked some every day since, and our second date is tomorrow night. So I asked her out, and to my surprise, she knew exactly what we should do. All I know is she wants me to, earthquake. You guys see my thing screen shake? All I know is she wants me to get there as early as I can after work and bring my baseball gloves. She knows I play. So the question is, since it's a Valentine's Day coming up on Monday, how do I handle this issue during a second date? Do I show up with something like yellow carnations or wait it out and see how the date goes before I make any mention of Valentine's Day? Typically, I would think flowers at this stage may be coming on too strong, but considering the circumstances, I'm not sure. I'm going to say this. Sometimes guys bring flowers just for a first date. It doesn't have to mean anything. It's not like it's like going to come with a ring or something. Dude, you're putting too much on it. But, you could give her, say you don't want to do flowers. Does she like chocolate? Starbucks? Give her a gift card. I don't know. But, you definitely don't want it to be anything just that's too over the top. But I would think a nice acknowledgement, like, I know we're not like a couple and all this kind of stuff, but, since then this is how you could play it. Since I was in kindergarten, I always like to give the pretty girls a Valentine and, some flowers or some little gift or something. So what you could do, they had them little Valentine's cards like grade schoolers give out, the kind that you punch out and it's like, you could give them one of those. I think it would go over really well. She would laugh because you could say, referring back to kindergarten and first grade, these are the kind of things I always give all the little pretty girls in class, and then you give her one. If somebody did that to me, I would roll out, and I would probably put it on my refrigerator and keep it for years because it would be so funny. But so you're giving her something, but you're not putting all this emotion into it. It's not weighted. It's not heavy. That's what I would do if I were you. Some little kitty, something like that. You could get a rest something to some little kid in your neighborhood or something. You only need one for her. And you give her that, put your name on it just like we used to do in grade school. The little white envelope. Aren't the little things about this big? And then hearing that, and you can give her some flowers, some yellow, what you say, carnations. Flowers have different meaning. Don't ask me what that means, but if that works for you, and you should be able to get a good price because it's prior to Valentine's Day, because on Valentine's Day, the prices get tripled. But that's what I would recommend, and then it will go over really well. She will laugh. Nobody, I mean, if she don't laugh at that, then she has no sense of humor, and you don't want to go out with her anymore anyway. Used to, used to love those. I thought they were so cute. But that's what I would do if I were you. Something like that. It's cute. It acknowledges Valentine's Day, but it don't have no weight on it, and it's not like with any great expectations, and it's funny as hell. So I think she would like that. Well, that's like we're not talking about all that. Um, let me. Oops. How do we block that? I mean, erase that comment. I can't even figure out how to do it. Well, we'll just do it that way. So anyway, so nobody got a question? Another question? Any other question for me? We'll be back. Tomorrow is an upload at 4 o'clock, I believe, and then on Sunday we have two shows. We have a live stream that's at 2:30 Pacific time with Angel Roberts, and then on at around 4, I think it is. There's an upload. So if you want to, you can either call by clicking this link, or you pay your super chat. You can do it through super chat. Either way, it's $8, and then you ask your question. You can either ask it with audio, or you can just type it in here, and I'll put it across the screen. Either way. So yeah, at least $8. That's fine. That works. So how about what time is it? Okay, we'll hang out till like 7:30, and give you guys time to think of your question and get yourself together. Um, I saw something. What did I see? People had submitted ideas for the show that I had to do, a surprise show on Sunday. I mean on Monday, when the guest switched. She switched to this Sunday. That's what's going to be on the air at 2:30. The live stream at 2:30. The lady who was originally scheduled for Monday. And I'm looking. Oh, here it is. Okay, so people had submitted some ideas. Um, and I guess I could talk about this one. Kiki wanted to know about how to go on out alone to get hit on. Thanks, Skipping Switch. Did you have a question too? No, that's me and Shay's Valentine's present. So she wanted to know how to go out alone and get hit on. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. If you have a favorite place that you go where the staff, bartenders, and people know you, that's what I used to do. I would always go to the same place by myself because I knew everybody. And so, I had backup there. The bouncers know you, the door security people know you, the bartender knows you, the waitresses know you. So everybody got their eye on you. So if something funky go down, you got backup. And but if you don't have a place like that, you still want to go to, like, usually the best places are like like a restaurant type bar. Like we used to have by my house used to be what was that thing called, TGI Fridays. And on Fridays and Thursdays and Fridays, they would after the happy hour, like a lot of people worked around there, and they would all go there, right? So it'd be all kinds of men um in there having a drink after work, and just shoot the breeze with their coworkers and stuff, having snacks and everything. And so you just sashay yourself in there and sit down on the bar stool and be like, "Hi, what your name is?" And then I mean, if you just want to, and then they used to have Chevys. Chevys used to, they had some good margaritas and happy hour snacks and stuff, and people would go up in there, and the same thing. So I'm not sure what area she lives in and what kind of what's available. But sometimes, they have really good happy hours and it attracts a lot of singles. And since things are opening up, the weather's warming up, they'll have outdoor patios open, and even some of the ones that don't have the big heat lamps. And so, you can sit out there with your mask on or whatever and, socialize with people. Now, this is my caveat. Make sure you have your Google phone number before you do this. That's what you're going to give out to people. You could even have social cards made up, okay, with some email that's associated with your Google phone number and your name, your first name only, your Google phone number, and an email. Okay, that's all people need to know. And you give them that. And then if they want to call you, they can call you or reach out by email, whatever they want to do. Okay. The other thing that you're going to do, okay, Mel. The other thing you're going to do is you're not going to let nobody buy you a drink and bring it to you. You're not going to do that. That's how people get drugged. You're not going to do that. You're going to sit there and the waitress is going to bring the drink to you, or the waiter, whoever. The bartender is going to mix it where you can see, and then they're going to sit it in front of you and say, that guy over there bought you a drink. Oh, well, that's very nice of him. Toast him and drink your drink. But if you get up to dance or something like that, the drink is dead to you. Don't you dare do anything with it except push it aside and order a fresh one. Okay? Though that's how you're going to handle yourself. Be careful. Be smart. Anything you leave on the table, anything you leave on the counter is dead to you. You don't touch it. That's very important. I don't know. These days you don't even have to pretend you wait for somebody. You can just be there on your phone, just looking around. I don't know. I used to do that all the time. I used to travel by myself. I did all kind of stuff by myself. Told you all about my trip to New Orleans. That was kind of, that was close. That was a close call. Them folks was not playing out there. And this is before we even heard about human trafficking too much. But that's what was going on down there. I'm like, oh, hell to the no. But, so you got to be aware of what's going on around you and, watch your drinks and watch your food. Watch your purse. That's another thing. You get, pickpockets and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. But, these are the same thing that could happen even if you're with some other people. So it's not like this is, something only that can happen to you only if you're by yourself. That's not the case. Yeah, it was a wild story. The scariest thing was, it really happened. Just like I said, it was just so bizarre. I just never, and when I told my parents that, they were so terrified. My father, I thought he was going to cry because, he was just like looking so like, I think he was like thinking about, oh no, what if I hadn't trained her to be more street smart and, and then she was a victim, what would, my baby girl kind of thing. So, his face, it was bad. It was crazy. So, you got to pay attention to stuff. Yeah. Pay attention. That's, yeah, get yourself another drink, but you don't even have to knock it over. Just push it. Just over there say, oh, I need a fresh drink. You don't have to do all that. Y'all be exerting too much energy. Plus, it might spill on my clothes. I'm like, oh no, I don't want that. Just think I need a new drink. And the bartenders know what's up. They ain't stupid. They've been down that road before. Now, the other thing is, as we get ready to wind down to the close here, Valentine's Day is coming up. Oh, Yellow Star wrote. That's a question. Let's put this across here. Any places that aren't food centered that you would suggest a woman go to meet men? I love playing billiards, pool. Any place else? Well, it depends if you like bars. They are, restaurant bars aren't necessarily food centered. It's just the restaurant part and then the bar part. They usually even have a separate entrance, but you can order food, to brought into the bar. Plus, they usually have a bar menu, and it tends to attract people at those kind of places that are a little not as dusty, as wretched as people that just go to a bar. You know what I mean? That's my experience. Of course, I'm old and things may have very well changed because I don't really go to bars and stuff like that anymore. But that was what I found, and that's why I started going to places. I would go to places that had a nice bar in the restaurant, even if it was like a steakhouse or anything else. I would still go there, and it's like a different, like a higher level of men would go to these places because the drinks cost more, and the environment was, like more elegante. Okay. Now, pool is good. Sports bars are good. Where they have, especially like now, it's when Super Bowl games and stuff going to be on. Wedding places, big crowds of men in places like that. Anytime there's like a basketball series on or something, any kind of sports centered kind of environment is good. There are even some really, like here in the Bay Area, like there's some bowling alleys that have very popular bar, kind of areas, golf club, the little clubs up there where they serve snacks and stuff. The men go in there after. Most of them are married, but not all of them. A lot of them are divorced. So they're just all kinds of places. Yeah, meetups are this is my go-to. I like them. Yep. Axe throwing. Wait a minute, Shay. Oh, Shay probably go to them things where they be like what they call them, dwarf tossing. Shay be over there. So people are putting some ideas for you as well. One time I went on, and this was, ooh, I thought I was gonna die. I went to on this trip. There used to be a company here in Northern California that did bicycle trips, right? So I signed up for this 3-day bike trip, and I went by myself, and it was all through Napa and stuff. And then they would like pitch, a campground for you at night until you had like your own little mini tent and whatnot. And I was the only black one on the trip. You do know this. And so, but man, my legs, I could barely walk by day 2. I thought I was gonna die, but I made it though. Whew. But that was something different. And it was mostly guys on there, but they was, I mean, that's not like it was bad. It was white dudes, but they were seriously like looking at me like, "What are you doing? Why are you here?" Because they just couldn't believe that a black woman was on a bike trip. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that company. I don't know if that company is probably not even around. This was a long time ago when I was still young and had energy and stuff. Them days has been over. Yeah, these are all good suggestions, Yellow Star, and good for everybody else as well. So you guys are thinking about what you want to do now. The stuff's opening up. It's going to be summertime, so everybody's gonna be getting out, and since I lost weight since last summer, so I'm about to be breaking out in some hoochie gear for real, which I have not done in a long time. So I'm gonna be, woo-hoo. So just be ready. Just be ready. When y'all see me on the show, I'm gonna be looking like a hoochie. I'm gonna be in my hoochie gear. That's what I'm gonna do. I might have give me some hoochie nails. Them long, those long nails with all them designs and stuff. Oh no, I can't do that because I'll be tripping about myself. But it is nice to fantasize about. But no, I'm not gonna do all that. But I will wear the clothes though. You ain't but a hoochie mama. Exactly. Girl, that used to be my theme song, along with Return of the Mac. So you guys, enough of this silliness. I will let you go on and enjoy the rest of your evening. But we got the show coming up tomorrow. It's an upload, but you guys, it's a premiere, so you can come in and chat if you want to. And then on Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 5:30 on the East Coast, we're gonna have the live interview with Angel, and she's out of Atlanta, and she's gonna be talking about slaying self-doubt. Slaying self-doubt. So, Glassy Eyes is over there singing the song. Honey, I'm telling you, Return to the Mac, that was my theme song. It's like when I walk in the room, I need that song to be playing because I'm back. The Mac is back. I'm telling you, that was a girl. I'm telling you, I'd be like, you know how they used to have them boom boxes up on their shoulder? That would be me with my theme music playing. It accompanied me. Classy eyes, you cracking me up. You guys are too funny. All right, let me do what I'm supposed to be doing here. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna be on here tomorrow. Come on back at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Check out the schedule of events on the community wall. And I will see you all. I won't be around tomorrow. I got a hot date, but I'll be back on Sunday for the live stream. Okay? Bye bye.